Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video we'll be taking a look at a set of wireless earbuds from Boltune. These are the BH024s, and they're pretty awesome. Keep watching to find out more. Okay, so in today's video we're taking a look at some Boltune wireless earbuds. These are the BH024s. And these are a very unusual one, and also you potentially could get to win a pair yourself. We do have a spare pair here which we bought today, and we're going to give these away to one of you lucky viewers. All you have to do is to just send me an email with the subject of win and basically tell me why you want to win them. Send the email to mike@mikesunboxing.com and you'll be in the draw. The draw will take place somewhere towards the end of May 2021, depending obviously when you're watching this video, and hopefully you might be the lucky winner. So with that out of the way, what the heck are these things? Well, these are a very, very weird headphone. They are wireless earbuds, Bluetooth 5.0, they support CVC 8.0, APTX, all those cool features. They've got noise cancelling for calls, so you come through nice and crystal clear. They've also got a tremendous amount of volume and a tremendous amount of bass, which you wouldn't necessarily expect. And after listening to these for a couple of hours this afternoon, I'm a little bit confused why they were so cheap when I bought them. So these today retailed for £9.99. I've never seen such good quality earbuds in my life for that price. Very, very odd. Now these do seem to go up and down in price drastically, and I mean drastically. Just checking back a few hours after I bought them, they've already gone up to £79.99, which even still at that price, they're pretty tempting still. But from what I can tell from those good people over at UK Hot Deals who've been keeping an eye on these for a little while now, they do tend to jump up and down in price, and normally they do average out around about the £35 to £40 mark, which I think is still an absolute steal. You know what I mean. So let's go through the features of this. Do an unboxing. I'll give you my opinion on the sound quality, which if you haven't guessed already, I think it's bloody amazing. But anyway, we'll go through it again and go through the features. So these are based around the legendary Qualcomm QCC3026 chipset and feature peak and other features such as, again, CVC 8.0 for that noise cancelling. Now the noise cancelling, let's be quite upfront about that, the noise cancelling is only for when you're actually in a telephone call. So whilst you're in a phone call, it will monitor the ambient surroundings around you and try and equalise them out so the person listening to the telephone call can actually hear you without listening to either seagulls or crowd noise, whatever it might be. When you're actually in music, playing music, either streaming it from a desktop PC, from your mobile phone or whatever it is, then there isn't any real active noise cancellation. It's purely passive. But even so, with these, with the actual silicone tips which are included, I found they sealed the ear canal fantastically, which is great for two things. First of all, for bass, sealing the ear canal gives you that really, really nice bass response, and also it gives you that isolation as well. Kath was telling me a few times this evening she's been talking to me or saying something and I was completely oblivious. So certainly for noise cancelling properties, they get a 10 out of 10. They also come with up to 42 hours of playback time. Now, we haven't quite tested that as of yet, and that is made up of a selection of recharges. So the actual buds themselves, whilst they're fully charged, will give you anywhere up to about 7 hours worth of use. That is obviously with reduced volume levels, but even so, testing them today, even at 50%, which for me actually seemed quite loud, the battery lasted for absolutely ages and barely moved from about 97%, which it started off at, down to around about 85%. So they are definitely going to last a heck of a long time. You can then recharge them using the battery bank, so you can get another 5 or 6 charges out there to really top them up on the go. And you should find with this fully charged from the wall socket using a USB Type-C connection, you'll probably get these to last an entire weekend, well, with no problems at all. So let's take a look and see what we actually get inside the box. So opening up the box, first of all, we get a thank you and a Boltune welcome card, gives you all the information for contact details, etc. Also, there is a quick start guide, which is very simple to do, basically tells you what the taps do to control the headphones themselves, so play, pause, volume up, down, all that kind of thing. And then also there is a slightly more in-depth guide, should you need it. Next up, let's take a look at the accessories box. So in the accessories box, we should have a USB Type-C cable and some, there he goes, actually a very short USB Type-C cable. So when you are charging them, make sure it's very close to where it needs to be plugged in, otherwise you will struggle. Of course, if you want to, you can use just a standard USB Type-C cable. Any cable will be absolutely fine. And also there is a selection of spare tips. So all in total, you get 4 earbud tips. So there's 2 pre-installed actually already. You get some extra large, large, medium, and there's a small as well. So should fit pretty much most sizes. I've gone with the ones which are actually on there as default, and I find they fitted particularly well. So let's take a look at the actual headphones themselves, or earbuds themselves. Can't stop saying headphones, you know what I mean. So on the front, you've got this really nice fabric, and actually pretty much all around you've got this really nice fabric, which is quite impressive, because actually getting fabric to stick to those kind of shapes, those rounded edges and what have you, is actually quite a difficult thing to do. So they have taken a lot of time and effort on this to actually make it look and feel nice. Now the only downside of this is, because it is a fabric, it is gonna get marked to some extent. And for those of you that are wearing slightly tighter than normal jeans, and in COVID times, who isn't, you may find this a little bit more difficult to actually pull out of your pocket if you're wearing jeans, because of fabric on fabric. Whereas with a shiny plastic, it slips in and out quite easily. So at least on the flip side of that, you're not going to lose them accidentally by them slipping out your pocket. So there is that to it. The fabric as well, obviously will pick up dirt and debris. So if you've got kind of muddy hands or whatever, and you're out in the countryside, you touch them, you're going to get muddy stains on there. So do bear that in mind. This is a premium product, believe it or not, even though they only cost $9.99. So yeah, really you should take good care of them and not leave them out in the mud. Moving around onto the back of the device, so you can see we've got our charging section here. So it's a USB Type-C connection, and a full charge of the battery is around about 2 hours or so, which is absolutely fine. There is a test button on the back, so you press the test button. Over 25% of battery, you'll get a white LED. If it's slightly low, then you'll get a flashing red LED. Whilst it's actually charging, you get a flashing white LED, and when it's fully charged, you get a static white LED, so you know when it's ready and fully charged. The case itself is actually pretty lightweight and still feels pretty sturdy as well. You've got this magnetically sealed top flap, which is really good, and this actually starts the automatic pairing process. So when you open it, the light comes on and they're basically pairing, and I'm not sure if you heard it on my phone there, it says connected or connecting, depending obviously what the status is. So I've got these currently paired with my iPhone, which is over there. So now that is pretty much ready to go. All I need to do is take them out, which is nice and easy to do. They're on magnets. And inside there you can see the charging pins. So if you get any issues with charging, really simple to clean those pins off on both the buds and also in the box itself. So we can close that down now, and you can put them in your ears. So what first was a little bit weird for me is I wasn't too sure which is left and right. And actually still taking them out now, I'm still not entirely convinced. So that is the left, yeah. I have to look on the box to see which is left and right. So put them in your ears. Really easy to do, just a twist, and that is it, they're in. They are a little bit on the large side, I'll be honest with you, but that does give you the benefit of a slightly larger battery and all that kind of stuff. So also as well, what is really useful is the actual Bluetooth reception. Sorry for the interruption there, Kath told me I was a little bit quiet. I obviously got no idea how I sound at the moment. The isolation is really, really mad, because I can basically just hear in my head. It's like I've got a really, really bad cold. A very strange feeling when they're not actually on. So I'm going to take one out. Actually, I'll take both of them out so I can actually hear what I sound like. Yeah, that is a strange sensation when there's nothing playing through them. Yeah, very good. Yeah, completely blocks out the outside world, not a clue what was going on. So yeah, that noise cancelling, 10 out of 10. So these are now ready to go. Like I was saying, the larger size of them, the actual stalks, actually helps in a couple of ways. Obviously the battery, you can have a longer lasting battery, obviously like we said, up to 7 hours of playback time, and also the antenna, which is kind of coiled along the inside there, so you get better reception. And I found actually walking away from the phone and walking around absolutely fine. I did earlier on do the test where I basically have them running, and what I generally tend to do is I cup one and cup the other and see if the signal goes. That is normally a sign that the Bluetooth signal is a little bit on the weak side. So by doing both sides, that one did start to drop out very, very slightly, but by removing one hand or the other, it was absolutely fine. So I don't think there's going to be a problem, and certainly in testing while I've been walking around and like leaving the phone in here, going into the kitchen, they've been absolutely fine. So yeah, no issues there, no crazy dropouts. And also some of the benefits as well, like we said, these support APTX standards. So if you're into your music quality and you do want it to sound a little bit nicer, then it certainly is an upgrade over SBC protocols, which is basically just your standard Bluetooth protocol. APTX gives you that slightly better increase in overall sound quality and performance, and also for latency. It isn't quite up to the standards of APTX LL, the low latency version, but certainly does put it a step in the right direction. And actually testing it on my iPhone against a standard older Bluetooth device on my PC, and also my APTX dongle from Creative, the difference was noticeable. So with a standard Bluetooth 4.0 adapter, there is a slight lag on these when you're watching movies and things like that on YouTube from a PC. If you're using APTX, then the sync is pretty much identical one for one. With Bluetooth, there's always a very, very slight lag, even on the best of low latency devices. So yeah, no problems there with APTX. If you're using Bluetooth 4.0, then you might want to consider getting a Bluetooth 5.0 or APTX dongle, or again, the Creative W3, which is a fantastic pairing to go with these. For those of you that are interested as well, if you're into sharing, because sharing is caring, I wouldn't suggest using them as like a kind of couple setup. They do need to be relatively close together to maintain their kind of synchronization between the two. If you get to a certain distance apart, you'll find that the left hand side will work and the right will stop, because the right is kind of like the auxiliary, whereas the left one is the kind of master channel. So yeah, don't get them too far apart, otherwise you will lose the signal on the right bud. So let's talk about audio quality. Now the quality is astonishing, it really is. Even at £80, they do rival some of the more expensive headsets we've tried in the past. Certainly even some of the over-ear headsets, such as the Creative SX Fi Air, that kind of thing, they are in a very similar league. The sound quality isn't quite as wide and as expansive, obviously, because it is a inner ear device and it's not a 40mm woofer or speaker, but they certainly do sound very, very good. Listening to the usual eclectic mix of songs on YouTube, such as some Toto, some ABBA, some Bobby Brown, some modern stuff as well, some bass heavy tracks, all that kind of stuff, even the tonal tracks where they could do tonal stepping. Absolutely brilliant. And the actual volume from these is astonishing. These are possibly some of the loudest earbuds that I've ever used. They really are. Normally with earbuds, if I'm listening via PC, I have my volume set to anywhere between 50 and 75%, and on some of the worst ones, maybe between 75 and 100%. But these, even at 50% or even 40%, are definitely loud enough to listen to, and at 100%, they are almost to the point of being uncomfortably loud. So yeah, they've definitely got a little bit in reserve, and even when they are on that kind of level, there's not really any distortion. In some of the extremely bass heavy tracks, there is a little bit of flutter going on in the woofers, but certainly I wouldn't recommend listening at those levels anyway. It possibly is dangerous for your eardrums. So that is, I think, going to be pretty much it for these. Certainly, if you can pick these up at $9.99 or even $39.99, I would definitely go for it. They do sound fantastic, and again, amongst some of the other devices I've used in the past, and no doubt some of you have come here from watching the AirPod clones and all that kind of stuff and various other Bluetooth devices, these do rank up amongst the top of them. They really do, even despite the ridiculous price. I'm pretty sure they sold them today and recently for around about the sort of £12 mark, £9 mark, and even before that, I'd done like £20 and stuff. I'm pretty sure they do it purely to get their ranking up on Amazon, which appears to have worked because it drew me in, and I am extremely happy with them. And hopefully one of you will also be extremely happy with them when we do the giveaway. So like I said before, if you want to be in for the giveaway, all you need to do is send an email to mike@mikesunboxing.com, put the subject as being win, and just do a small paragraph underneath to say why you want to win them, and you'll be in the draw, and hopefully you'll be one of the lucky winners. Well, the lucky winner. Anyway, I've rambled this on way too long. If you can't wait to win them, there will be affiliated links in the video description below. We haven't been asked by Boltune to do any promotion on this whatsoever. This is literally, I saw them today, thought they looked great value for money, and I am so glad I picked them up. So let me know what you think about them in the comment section below. If you want to be in to win, all the details for that will be in the description below as well if you haven't called it by now. But all that leaves me to say is, I've been Mike, this is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.